Hello, Dollar General friends. In this video, I'm going to show you all the places where I found penny items this week at Dollar General, and at the end of the video, I'm going to show some footage of where I found some penny items last week, because I never got around to making a video last week, because with Thanksgiving, there's just been too much going on, and as you'll see at the end of the video, my Halloween penny shopping did not go incredibly well. This was the first store I went in. I went straight to the clearance section. This store has had the fruit cups that went to a penny over in their clearance section for weeks now, so I thought for sure they'd still be there, but they were gone. And the only thing I found in this clearance section for a penny was one lonely can of tomato sauce, but hey, one's better than none. And when I rounded the corner, walking away from this clearance section, I spotted this end cap, and at the bottom was a nice big box of these SweetTart ropes that went to a penny this week. But I have to warn you guys, if you find a full tray of SweetTart ropes like I did, make sure you take them all out of the box and go through them individually and make sure that they are all the ones that have gone to a penny, because I ended up getting 20 packs of penny SweetTart ropes, but there was two full price packs mixed into there. I did end up paying for them. I was not going to make the cashier sit there and delete two full price items just so I could buy 21 penny items. I feel like that would just be rude. I just paid for the full price SweetTart ropes. Luckily, SweetTart ropes are my husband's second favorite candy, so he's not gonna mind that I bought 2 packs full price and got 20 packs for a penny at that store. In the second store that I went in, I did get lucky and find one can of Doritos mixed in on the regular shelf with the regular chips. And then I found a couple boxes of the Hot Honey Ritz crackers on the Christmas aisle. Some of the stores squish their seasonal foods down and just leave them at the end of the holiday candy. So that's a good place to look for the stuff that went to a penny this week. If you notice, most of the stuff that's on the food part of the penny list of this week was summer food items. They just for some reason weren't considered part of the summer food markdowns, which is incredibly confusing. They should have just marked them down when they marked down summer food, but instead they left them on the shelf for a couple months longer and then let them go to a penny. Here you see that I stopped and looked at the SweetTart ropes on the regular candy aisle, and by looking through the sides, I could see the ones that were different colors and figure out which ones are a penny. So if you're trying to find some of the candy that's gone to a penny this week, make sure you check the regular shelf. And then I don't know if you saw in that tiny clip there, but it was just barely snowing when I went in this store. And I have to say, for where I live, that's probably the most snow I will see in December. It never snows in December where I live, so that was actually pretty surprising. So I'm glad I was able to film a teeny tiny bit of snow. In this store, I ended up only finding one penny item, and it was mixed in on the random junky toy aisle, and it was just a random bag of Halloween candy. I was actually giving up and heading to the front of the store when I noticed that one bag of Halloween candy, and I really wanted out of that store because the employees in there were being completely ridiculous. They were cursing at one another, and it was not a fun place to be in. If I had children, I would have been getting somebody in trouble because they were saying things you should not say out loud in public, but whatever. I actually talked about it with the employees in this store because the employees in this store were much nicer and friendlier. As you see, again, the one thing I ended up grabbing in the store was SweetTart ropes. I checked the regular candy section and found some mixed in with the regulars. That's just been the one thing that I found a lot of this week. I ended up getting 45 different penny items from this week's penny list. And I want to say, like, I don't know, 35 of them maybe were SweetTart ropes. Once again, I'm really glad that that's one of my husband's favorite candies, because who needs 30 bags of one kind of candy? It's kind of crazy. This store is one that I usually don't find penny items in. The manager is really on top of her game. She always tries to make sure that there's no penny items left. So I didn't really expect to find anything here, but since I was passing this DG on my road trip of DGs for the day, I had to stop into this one and see if I could get lucky. And randomly enough, I actually did. I did check next to the seasonal candy in every store because, like I said, that's where a lot of times they scoot down the summer stuff and bring in the Halloween, and they scoot down the Halloween and bring in the Christmas. So they kind of just leave everything mixed together. And I happened to notice in this Christmas candy, this tray of the fans that went to a penny this week. As you can see, they mixed in some of the Christmas elf fans, which of course are full price. But on the penny list this week, there was two different Stitch battery operated fans that were on the penny list. And then there's also two others that you can be looking for, which you kind of just saw me grab. There's one that has an axolotl on the top, and then one that has a cat on the top. I think I ended up with 9 of these in this store. A really fun penny item that would make great donations right now. Perfect for sticking in stockings or giving as Christmas presents. This store, the manager is always super friendly and he does not care if you find penny items. So I was really hoping to luck out and get a major score here, but it didn't go that way at all. I almost thought I had gotten lucky when I found this one bag of Easter Hershey Kisses on the shelf mixed in with the Christmas candy, but they had actually reset to full price already, which was really sad, especially since they're going to go out of date in January, so they're probably just going to get thrown in the trash. And just as I was giving up in the store and deciding to go to the front so I could hit the next Dollar General, I noticed this one little box of flower seeds. The other seeds that you saw, the individual packets, they are still full price. For some reason this year, they did not follow the lawn and garden stuff. But if you find boxes of flower seeds, they did go to a penny. Very confusing, but hey, once again, 1 penny is better than none. So that was great. Because this was the last store that I went in this week, and in this store I found 0 penny items, so I definitely would have preferred finding 1 over finding none in this store. Now I'm going to show you some penny hunting footage from last week, and you're going to see real quick why I did not make a penny shopping video last week. This was the first store that I went in. If you watch my last couple penny shopping videos, you've heard me talk about the store where there is a manager who said she's not going to have anybody finding penny items in her store ever again. She's going to be on her A game. And then the next week after she said that, I found like 80 something items for a penny when the summer stuff went to a penny in her store. So I went to that store first when the Halloween went to a penny just to see if I would luck out. And wouldn't you know, I got to the end of the aisle and there was a whole section full of Halloween candy. So of course I immediately filled up my cart, and of course no penny left behind, so I took all of it. While I was loading this into my cart, an employee walked by and asked me how my day was going, and I kind of expected him to say something about me grabbing all this, but he didn't say a word. He didn't seem to care. But when I got up to the register, he said, "I've got to ask, is this really cheap? Or is this a penny?" And I was like, "It's a penny." And he's like, "Oh, darn." He said that was on my list of things to do this morning, but I guess I don't have to do that now. And I was like, "Nope, you do not have to pull them now because I pulled it all for you." And I ended up getting 75 bags of candy in that store, and it cost me 82 cents. That was a really, really great find. It made me feel like I was going to have an amazing penny shopping day. So I headed to my second Dollar General of the day, and in this store, I ended up finding nothing on the seasonal aisle, not one bag of candy, not one decoration. But when I left this aisle, I went up the aisle that has all the junky, messy toys, because that's usually a good spot to find random holiday stuff mixed in. And I did end up scoring 1 dog toy for a penny, which was really great because I do have 9 dogs. So 1 dog penny toy is better, again, than nothing. And then I have to tell you, I went to, I think, 6 or 7 more Dollar Generals on this day, and I did not find one more penny item. It was not a very great penny shopping day for me. That's why I didn't make a video last week. It literally would have been just footage of me saying I found nothing in a whole bunch of stores, except for the first store where I got 75 bags of candy, and the second store where I found one dog toy. Let me know in the comments, did you score big on the Halloween pennies last week? Did you find a lot of penny items this week? How is penny shopping going for you recently? I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it showed you a few more places that you can look in your stores and you end up scoring some more penny items. And until next time, bye!